A glorious good day, beloved hearts. Akasha is with you. I am grateful to see such a full class here in Vancouver. And through the consciousness of each of you, I extend my love to the larger student body around the world. And I remind you, precious hearts, that today there are students in many other countries that are now coming forth and finding the Sacred Heart of the Mother's presence. It is indeed a temptation to reveal to you so much that has been prepared for this year and 2016 and 2017. Yet that temptation I must resist. And for in this moment, as Mother Mary arrives, and His Grace, Lord Raphael, the great Archangel, will be with her. And there's some things that I wish you to know. Over the years that you have breathed in the higher consciousness of your divinity, that you have opened your minds to teachings that are not of this world. The revolutionary spirals of self meets self, and all the passages that you have been through in your life, they give you a greater understanding, not only of yourself and of others, an understanding of a spiritual family long left behind, your ascended family. And by now you know there are many types of mystical and ascended beings. Even some who have never been to systems of worlds. There are children that just won't leave home in the great central sun. You've come to understand a greater terminology of ascended beings. But you have not yet come to understand fully, although that time is coming, and I wish to briefly say to you a few things that is the difference between an ascended master and a cosmic being. Who is an ascended master who's become a cosmic being in that hierarchical growth. I wish you to know that the achievements of an ascended master to be raised into a great cosmic being, they are mighty. Many achievements have to be made in the ascended master realms. And very notable as well, is not only the life you left behind on the planet Earth, but a series of lifetimes that you left behind, and the influences and the touch and the meaningful difference you made on people's lives. All of these things come into consideration. And even after this, both the achievements before you achieved your ascension and the things you must accomplish and achieve in the Ascended Master realms. Even then, there is those activities that you must be able to pass through. They are like initiations, but not really initiations. They are passages of cosmic experience. And when an ascended master goes through those experiences, you come out of those experiences changed. You come out more. And of course, that more is influenced by your state of consciousness as an ascended being. Because every ascended master has access to the all-seeing and all-knowing eye of God, no ascended master would submit themselves to going through cosmic experiences of such pressure without the eye revealing to them that they would succeed. Sometimes ascended masters will place themselves in the project, in the eye, and years will pass. In your understanding of time, where the all-seeing eye says, you're not ready. There's no failure, it's just you're not ready. And every ascended master would respect that. Mother Mary, what an accomplishment. If you are one of the pilgrims, initiates from times past, and you lived quiet lives, you left your homes, entered spiritual pilgrimages seeking truth, hearsay of ancient wisdom, mystery schools on the planet, and you set forth a trek to find these places. And if you are fortunate and blessed to receive entrance into those places, you study and you study. You apply and you evolve. Sometimes, at the completion of your attendance in the ancient mystery schools, you will go right on to your ascension. Other times, every situation is an individual situation. You might go back into the world and live a notable life and make a difference. Then there are those exceptional ones, been tested through centuries of lifetimes, small pockets of a few years in one lifetime and then a few years in another lifetime. And always the veils to cover up so that you don't remember what you are progressing through, what you're advancing through. Sometimes the need is so great in a system of worlds, a being from the hierarchy is asked to descend. It is rare. It is very rare. And to take on a biological unascended form, to provide a service that no one in that world, in that unascended world, has been found strong enough to provide. Mother Mary is that notable one, twin-flamed to the Archangel Raphael. When each of you have come to understand why I had to come to the earth, why I, Akasha, had to come to the earth 37,000 years ago, and why I had to be hidden from the world. And while in our location in Delphi, we had to call you into Delphi. All these things of such importance in the future must be hidden and protected. You might understand the relationship that I have with Mother Mary, in which she too, and who she was, had to be hidden from the world. And yet a way had to be found for her to be in the lineage of the house of Jesse and the house of David. A notable life. she lived. She accomplished more than was set forth. And upon the achievement of her son's ascension and the early ministry set forth, Mary retired with some of the family to the lands that you know as Turkey. There, she lived a quiet life, and unknown to anyone. For at the time, she requested no record of it be made. Mother Mary created in her chapel, in her home, she created a healing chamber. And she invited the locals to come. And as they entered that healing chamber, when they left, before they left, Mary, this is unascended Mary, touched their cheek and said to each of them, "You are healed by the power of my Son. But you must not remember how this happened." And Jesus had already given her the cosmic wave, and with a wave over your eyes, the memory of how you had been healed, the memory of coming to Mother Mary's house and entering her healing chamber was removed. So there was no word going out amongst the masses. And the people that came to her home were only a few each day. And they didn't know why they were there. That is a tryst between the power of a mother's presence to draw someone, and someone finds themselves somewhere and realizes, I don't know why I'm here, but I was led here. Why don't you come in for a cup of tea? Her life was a wonderful life, and yet not without a life of challenges, of such fright, and even with all the love of her Son, she too, she had lapses. In the end of our weekend in Calgary, a son did an amazing thing. He said, for those of you who've had a rough time lately, who've had a hard time, come up and let Papa give you a hug. And he made it very, very clear. Perfection is ahead of you. It's all right. It's all right to have a hard time sometime. Because now you're strong enough to reach out and ask for the help. And that help is ever increasing. Imagine, with all that Mary had been through, and relapsing when her son died on the cross, forgetting everything and collapsing with everything she knew. All that faith, all of it. Even asking herself, did my son delude himself and us and all of us with him? That's a fairly hard time to go through. And beloved roses, the more you are honest, it's not a thing you have to broadcast, but the more you are honest with what's going on inside, the power to move through that and to heal that, you have found your family, your spiritual family. And Mary has so much authority now. Someone achieving their ascension with leaving a very notable life behind. That's a lot more challenging as a new ascended master compared to someone who lived a quiet life, went to the mystery school, achieved their freedom in the ascension. It's not that the ascended master has baggage. It's just that if you've gained ascension and people are praying to you and reaching out to you, it's a whole different scenario. Jesus wanted to raise because he had the authority. If you're a cosmic being, you can sidestep some of the trials and initiations you as an ascended master must go through before you are raised to that status. Jesus several times tried to raise his mother to be a great cosmic being, and she said, no, I'll work for it. I'll work for it. In the centuries that passed their ministry, the hundreds of thousands of prayers that they answered, Akasha came to Mary. I came to her a number of years ago when the director Logos raised her temporarily to be goddess of the earth because your earth needed someone to speak up for her. It was shortly after that, and that's only been a few years now, that I came to Mary and said, Mary, with this service again, and you carry the Ascended Mother's heart, you are going to skip. There are 37 challenges an Ascended Master must pass through to be raised into a great cosmic being. I said, Mary, we're going to skip 36 of them. We're going to take you into the final challenge without the other 36. And by doing so, Mary, you are going to make sure that your son's ministry in the future fulfills itself through the rose hearts that are on this earth. You're going to work with me and with your son in making sure that all life that they have lost is regained and resurrection is upon them. I have found a curious activity of Mother Mary. She does something that Sister Teresa, we should call her Mother Teresa, they're very, very similar. The moment you've put something in front of them and there is unsurety, or they get very busy and they want to reach out and be somewhere else in that moment, And Mother Mary was like this when I said, Mary, you're going to come to the central sun. And I said, Mary, I'm not asking you. You know that if I compel you, you must pass through this passage. 4 months, entering into the very center of the great central sun. 4 months of timelessness. How do you measure that? 4 months in the great, great silence, in the heart flames of creation. And Mary, you are going to do something that is usually reserved, because the passages don't stop. Evolution is constant. There is another passage that great cosmic beings pass through. It is the 99th passage. And Mary, you are going to pass through the 99th while you're in the 37th. I thought I was going to have to catch her heart. Well, all I can tell you is that if you are in a feminine embodiment, which Mother Mary is, there comes a time in this passage where the 99th comes in, and you must stand and face the full glory of the infinite Father's presence. And while the flames of creation are blazing through you, the Father appears in all his majesty, larger than life. I'm certain it would frighten you if you saw it, because the light is so blazing. It is like the Father has become pure electricity. Spheres of light just blazing, of electronic substance. And as that passes through you, you must be able to absorb all of it. All of it. Not one droplet must be lost. You must stand and absorb the cosmic fiery Christ of the mind of our universe. Trillions upon trillions of electronic light rays. And it builds until the garment of the Father disappears and becomes the white of all whites, pure, shining, bright sphere of white light that just blazes unstoppable cosmic light patterns. And you drink and you absorb and you build that up. You are not only a cosmic being, you have the right for a passage of time to sit upon the throne of the Father of our universe, regardless if you are a great cosmic being in a feminine garment or masculine. You have the full glory of light. You have the endless light that will carry your love to the ends of the universe. Mother Mary accomplished her tasks. She is now a great cosmic being. And having waved aside the 36 passages and taking her into the 37th, and then while she is there, waving the 38th to the 98th passages, waving them aside, so that she would move through the 99th passage. And she did it. She did it. And whatever ways that each of you have successfully let go of some of the memories of Mary and the Catholic Church, albeit some of those memories might be comforting, yet I encourage all of you to don't hold her down. She is a great cosmic being. Of course, when we called her into the great central sun, I reminded Mary that she had a few advantages. And Your Grace, would you name those for me, please? She too can, well, she can play ball when she needs to. I said, Mary, the most obvious you do not need me to name. Very well, what's the second advantage that I have? Mary, before you went to the earth, you were an archangel. And even now, to this day, the people are so blinded in their religious beliefs, they don't even know that archangels come in feminine counterparts and feminine embodiments just as they do in male embodiments. And so, what Mary can now do in helping this student body is just so precious. In these days in which your relationship with the Mother's presence and all the ways your consciousness conceptualizes that, Mary and I have conceptualized that as quickly as possible, that you, each of you, will lose the power of perception and give birth once again to the power of conception. This you require a beautiful mind. Yet Mary and I are holding this for all of you. We're going to bypass some of the activities, just a few, that you yourselves must go through in acquiring that beautiful mind. Finally, when we met yesterday morning in your understanding of time, a number of new decisions were made based as we both read. I read, Mary read, the great Lord Melchizedek read, the Queen of Light read, a son read, and her son, Jesus the Christ, read. the reports, I will just say that, of her entire experience of being inside the inner sun of the great central sun in 4 months of the great, great silence. And based upon that, we came together and we made some adjustments. I had said to your messenger earlier in the year that leave this time open. Don't, we won't call Mary into any of the classes right now in this time. Let's just leave that and see what's going to happen. Of course, he had no idea of what was about to happen anyway with Mother Mary returning to the central sun. So a decision has been made. Just as you have come to understand that I gave the Resurrection Conclave to the mighty Saint Germain to overlight, to come and speak to you as often as he so desired, to assist you in the sacred alchemy of your physical forms. And just as I have given the Diamond Heart Conclave to beloved Master Jesus to make sure that he has a platform, that he and his family have a platform to share and to keep giving, I have given the Radiant Rose Conclave to Mother Mary, to be her platform to greet my radiant roses. This means that she will speak at least 4 times where so much is going to be revealed. It's going to take some time, precious hearts, to reveal everything. Many of the goddesses are coming to the Radiant Rose Conclave. She has already met with those goddesses, and she's going to anoint each goddess with gifts she achieved in the great, great silence and connect that to each goddess as they come to you at Conclave. I encourage each of you, and I ask you to ask yourself, what is it going to take for this to be real? For me to create inside my heart a very special place for beloved Mary, Mother Mary. Is there anything I need to set aside? Is there something I need to open more? Because your lives will be so blessed and cherished moving forward. And so whatever way that you can, open your lives, the blessings of Mother Mary. She is a great cosmic being. She is ready to greet you. I thank you.